Filipinos. The only difference lies in the fact that the Muslim resistance was more consistent and persistent, lasting long. The effect of this unitarism has been clearly portrayed in the development and persistence of colonial policies and programs. The government applied one policy to all Muslim community. It assumed that an individual leader or a group could represent Muslim community in the entire Philippines. By that, dealing with such an individual or group, the problems in Muslim societies would be solved. That this unitary approach is unrealistic, inappropriate, and effective may be seen from the least two perspectives. One is culturally, two is historically. Culturally is by the means that Muslim people are divided at least 6 ethno-linguistic groups. Those languages are mutually unintelligible and exclusive. The Lanao Muslims speaks Maranao, those of Cotabato, the Maguindanao, those of Sulu, the Tausug, and the Samal, those of Basilan, the Yakan. And those of Zamboanga is a mixture of Tausug, Samal, and Bangini. Historically, because the Muslim people have never shared a truly meaningful way of a common historical experience, except in terms of the fact that they all fought the colonial powers. Just as did the other Christian Filipinos, the only difference lies in the fact that the Muslim resistance was more consistent and persistent, lasting longer than any of the ethnic groups in the Philippines. An adoption to this pluralistic approach puts any Muslim movements on a realistic basis, from which a meaningful process of unification can be properly developed, otherwise unity remains elusive.
I am Vincent Lusterio to continue the report about the Moro literature. To realize the aim of pluralism is to state the utilization of the social science methodology which seeks to divest Muslim literature of its emotional content inherited from colonialism and unrealism. The merit of the social science perspective lies in the fact that it is based on a relation of disciplinary contribution to the understanding of social phenomena and problems. The modest attempt can perhaps be made along the following. First, a comprehensive bibliographical survey of all Muslim literature with extensive and proper annotations to provide information on the emphasis and content of Muslim literature from which meaningful areas of research can be identified. Second, a historiographical survey of Muslim studies to identify the period during which certain type of literary.
Let us go now to the second part of our reporting. Folk literature of the Muslim cultural communities by Kirby Jay. The Muslim cultural communities may be classified into 13 major ethno-linguistic groups. These are the Jama Mapons of the Cagayan de Tawi-Tawi, the Iranans of Cotabato, the Kaagans of Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, and Davao Oriental, the Kalibugans of Zamboanga, the Maguindanaos of the Maguindanao, the Maranaos of Marawi, the Palawanos of Molbos of Palawan, the Samas of Tawi-Tawi, the Singers of Sarangani, the Tausug of the Sulu, the Yakans of Basilan, and the Bangingis of Tungkit and Zamboanga. Each Muslim cultural community has its own inventory of folk literature, which is in more ways than one, displays unique and peculiar traits, features, and qualities. These distinctions distinguish one Muslim cultural community from another. Folk literary genre in Muslim cultural communities may include folktales, myths, legends, fables, ballads, poems, riddles, proverbs, and epics. Folktales.
Stand by day.
The various Muslim cultural communities are indeed proud of their cultural heritage. Each one of them has a number of cultural products, such as the folktales, which are on every recounter's lips. From Marawi to Tawi-Tawi, every Muslim Filipino has a story to tell, which has been transmitted to him or her by word of mouth across generations. It can be a fairy tale, an animal tale, an anecdote, or trickster's tale. The second is the myths and legends. If folktales are purely secular in nature, myths and legends, as far as the Muslim culture communities are concerned, have religious overtones. The people identify myths and legends as cut out of the same cloth. Some would even subsume them as folktales. Epics in most Muslim cultural communities, rather yet to be found, collected, identified, and consequently documented. As of present, 3 major Muslim groups have identified their epics: the Maranahadar Bantugan, the Maguindanao, Indarapatra at Sulaiman, and the Tausu, Parang Sabil hi Abdullah Ibanhi Isara. And for the balance, may be classified as folk songs because they tell stories as they are sung. Proverbs and riddles.
Proverbs and riddles. As we all know that proverbs and riddles at this present times are very common. Before we end up our report, let me just leave you a Yakat proverb. Ini hinang nu, gay iyan muli tungan. Whatever